Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
March against the ancient empire!
He's starving, along with the rest of this town.
Woke up this morning in a sweat.
Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your tongue. Who will? Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right.
Blessings of the divine upon you, good sir. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? Wonderful. Come, sit. Oh, it's lovely to meet new people on the road. There you go, all cozy. So tell me, are you heading to Arks like we are? Nicholas and I wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. That's so lovely to hear. The more pilgrims pray for his return, the sooner Lucian will walk among us once more, just like the prophecy says. So come, let us break bread and strengthen ourselves for the journey. We have a sacred duty ahead of us in the holy city of Arks.
You eat, drink, and have a good time of it with Glory and her husband Nicholas. After the meal, you express your thanks and take your leave.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Greetings! May the Seven circle you and keep you safe. Oh, it's a wonderful day, wouldn't you agree? And with good reason, too. Oh, for isn't it wonderful to look upon so simple a meal, bread and cheese, and be positively overcome with appetite? Why, only a few days ago, I was writhing in pain, having eaten from that rotten fish they dare sell on the market. But then a fellow pilgrim passed by, laid his hands upon my feverish skin, and just like that, I was cured. Truly, it was a miracle. Alas, I cannot say who he was, but I can say what he was. A holy man. A stranger showing kindness to strangers, exemplifying the teachings of the divine. Fills my heart with gladness to know that there are still folks like him to be found, now that our Lord Alexander has fallen. May the Seven keep him. May they keep all of us.
Be far, can it?
For insubordination!
A so-called holy man who can heal with magic.
Please.
I wonder if he
Please.
might be one of the
Could you help
sorcerers
me?
Meister Siva wants me to find.
Come on, can't I go play with the others?
Could be worse, you know. Hard to say how.
It can't be far, can it?
Surrounded by incompetence, I deserve a better posting.
Where is it? Where is it? Sir, please, have you seen a small burlap pouch lying about? Blast! It's gone for good, I fear.
She rubs a hand over her smooth head, then suddenly looks up at you. Her great greenish-gold eyes are alive with worry.
There isn't any chance you could spare a moment to help me look, could you? I wouldn't dare ask it if it weren't terribly important.
Tears star her eyelashes, and she begins to weep. She takes your hand.
I know. What a crybaby I am. It's just... you're so kind. It's been a difficult day. The pouch. I really must find it back, or my master will flay me alive. It had quite a sum inside it. Magister Raymond, he bade me take the coins to purchase supplies for his journey, but I dropped it along the way. He's sure to think I stole it.
She tilts her head back and blinks back tears.
I'd never do such a thing. Never. You're... gods. You're so terribly kind, but I couldn't accept such lavish charity. It's so unbecoming. I don't know what to say. Your kindness is overwhelming.
She accepts the coins, letting her hand linger over yours for the briefest of moments.
You don't know what this means to me. I'll send word to Magister Raymond right away. He should send for me soon enough. Thank you. Thank you.
You ever think about...
Ah, yes. One of Mari's heroes passes. Come on through, but mind the smell.
Welcome to Driftwood. Hackles raised, the dog barks at the sand built up beneath the building.
You're nice, and I'm a good dog. Yes, I am. There's something not right, and that's wrong. It's under the house thing there, and it's bad. I can smell it. You be careful now. What's under there smells real bad. It smells evil.
Fish me.
Get her, Dallas. Get that sorcerer.
Driftwood Fishworks.
That's close enough, Reptile. I thought you lizards were all hiding behind your imperial walls. What are you doing in Driftwood? Good. This town has enough problems. Tell me, have you seen a man around here? Grey beard, grey cloak, a look of madness in his eyes. Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister Carver will have our heads if we don't find him. It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear? He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought and sold a few knickknacks. But we thought nothing of it until our brothers started vanishing. As soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. We think he's hiding in here, but he's a canny one. Now, be on your way. Who knows where he could strike next?
I don't care if we tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
There's a murder on the loose, and you're thinking about your business.
I have rights. You've no authority to storm in here like this.
We have the authority of 4 missing magisters. And if we suspect you're hiding their killer, we'll throw you to the damned Voidwoken.
If any of you see so much
for a good time, mate. Head downstairs in the Black Bull Tavern. Tell the lummox blocking the way that Blassin gave you a tip-off. Grisha's still the favourite. If I bet against him, I could win big. Or lose it all.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He seems to be expecting you. He offers you a large and rusted key.
You took your time. The Magisters are searching the place, and Lohan needs to get his stuff out of the basement if he doesn't want to lose it. Good. And if you get caught, I know nothing about it, and this conversation never happened. Good day.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He tries to ignore your presence, fails. He sighs.
See here, scale skin. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters, and our shipments to Arks are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want? Fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to Arks. Now please, there's the door. I suggest you use it. A sophisticated imperial lizard like yourself will surely know that in business there's a market for everything. You just have to find it. Or...
A dark shadow passes across his face.
sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. An excellent point. Well made. The answer to your question is, unsurprisingly, a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his face once more. He shivers.
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn not to question these things too closely. Now I'll get back to my work, and I suggest you get back to leaving. Good day.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh, my... I mean, no. What do you want?
With a small grin, the dwarf glances between you and his handiwork and shrugs.
Indeed I am. They can close our schools, but they can't take away what I've been taught. Besides, there's still so much to learn. Plenty. These tainted fish are causing a lot of hardship. If I can understand what's happening to them, perhaps there'll be a way to reverse the effects. Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish, firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
The fish instantly churns your insides. Everything turns black. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the fish. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Lizards are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer, or my findings could become flawed. The fish you ate is known as crimson bream, quite a fast, vicious breed. It's often used in the creation of ferocity mixtures. But those use regular specimens, not this kind. Who is to say what might happen if you brewed a ferocity mixture with a crimson bream that's been touched by the void itself? The effects could be quite potent. Seek out somewhere that peddles ferocity herb mixes, but make an addition. One of these, unique breams. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell, stranger.
Get them out, and you can get back to work.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Care to choose which you'll try?
The fish instantly churns your insides. Your vision blurs to reveal towering horrors. The void woken, gathered before a silhouetted figure. You strain to see who it is. Your perspective abruptly changes. Cold, dark water. You glide through it. Black tendrils suddenly creep across your vision. You slow. The darkness consumes you. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased. The dwarf leans in and peers intently at your eyes.
Spontaneous delusions. Very interesting. And nothing more than a side effect from eating the fish, I'm sure. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Elves are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Perhaps a touch more vivid in their hallucinations, but otherwise identical. Ah, yes, of course, but this mightn't be quite what you were expecting, but, well, the fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one, touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell, stranger.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish.
The fish you ate is known as the umber monkfish, a remarkably intelligent breed. In fact, its flesh is often used to create intelligence mixtures. Now this monkfish, one that's been touched by the void itself, who's to say how its flesh could augment an intelligence brew? It could prove to be most valuable. Find somewhere that offers intelligence brews, then add this monkfish sample. The effects could be most interesting. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell, stranger.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Kind of you to offer. Very kind. But no, I've no need for test subjects right now. Thank you, though. I ought to return to my work.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
You see the nose on my face, don't you? I bloody know it smells, and I don't care as long as it sells. And sells it does. But the boss has found a buyer for this lot. It's to be shipped off to Arks in the next wagon, if you'd believe it.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine. Except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now why don't you march on? I ain't been paid to wag me chin.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish, as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arks has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram!
You're still here! Oh, joy! The thing under the floor didn't get you.
You! Have you seen anyone leaving this place? Grey cloak, grey beard, a satchel of books under one arm? You can't have missed him. Lucian's teeth. Where is that runt hiding? If you see anything suspicious, anything at all, report it immediately. Do you understand? He's a sorcerer dressed as a tinkerer. Our brothers started vanishing as soon as the tramp arrived in town. He fled into this stinking shed, but we'll find him again. We'll have our justice.
A flicker of pain appears on the Magister's face before he regains his composure.
I knew those Magisters for years. Trained with them. We've saved each other's lives more than once. They're family. Now, I've got a coward to catch. Excuse me.